Shamps and giggles. History, news, views, and reviews from Shamps and Giggles back for 2024. Oh my lord.
Lord of mercy, watch your way life it good though, don't. We're going into our feature discussion. I just realized, because I noticed the room was getting a bit warm about violence on women and, and the like. And of course, what a tragedy. And that is really. And we're going to go into our feature discussion now. And the reason why we're going to do that, because we have to give time for the discussion to unfold. I think the situation here immensely disgusting. Beautiful woman, by the way, and she was she was in the legal field. Actually, I'm going to clear all the hands at the minute, and then we can bring in the thing that we are. She was in the legal field. She'd gone to Gambia, and apparently she had her own YouTube page, and she was actually showing and demonstrating how, for a fraction of the cost of living in the UK, black people, we can go to Africa and get our patch of land, a good piece, and be living it large. It was just very, very sad. An absolute tragedy that this woman goes to Gambia, has helped, I believe, other people to transfer to Gambia and start life. She'd been out there for a few years, and it's just so sad. Murder commit. She was murdered in Gambia, somewhere where she obviously loves tremendously, and has helped so many people. It's just, I think that's her name here, Shanika. Shanika Chinedu. If I pronounce it right, please correct me if I did not.
Chinedu.
It is Chinedu, yeah?
Chinedu.
I know a friend of mine, his name is Chinedi. I don't know if it was a silent. But let's have a look. Here she is, as you can see. Just show a picture of her. A beautiful young lady. Look, she president of the African Returnees Association in Gambia, right? And she's been on radio. Here was a show from 2020 with Ras McCoy on GalaxyAfiwi.com radio. And of course, she was a guest, and she was talking at large for Gambia. So I don't know if anybody knows more on the story that they might want to, if I've missed anything, that they might want to bring out and make mention of. But it's caused a lot of waves, shall we say. She was someone who was doing her thing. Let's just have a little look at her. Well, this is connection North America to Africa, this diaspora. Is that the right one? And this goes on to, I think they're giving tribute. I think they're giving tribute to Shakina Chinedu. Look, an earlier interview, and they're saying it's a loss for Gambia for sure. But what went on that brought it to this situation.
Borehole drillers, and just make sure that we can keep them in work. But when we're building houses, we could have maybe 15 people on site at the same time.
I mean, it's all wait. It's just too sad. They might build house and everything as well. Come on, it blows my mind. D Naturals, your hand is up. Do talk things.
Yeah, just a quick what I know quickly about what I know about the story. I believe 6 women have been killed in the last 2 years in Gambia, and they're being like Western women from America or the UK. So
Mhm.
there's definitely something going on. I believe she was killed on the 14th of February because my sister was out there at the time. And when my sister asked her friend, he believes it's a set of people from another part of Africa. I'm not going to name which part that are bringing down Gambia and that are causing a lot of problems in Gambia at the moment. So I believe she was helping a lot of people get properties, and helping them to, to build, get land, and to have a good life in Gambia. So I don't know much more than that, but yeah, she's the 6th woman, far as we know, because Gambia is quite a peaceful. The people are quite humble. It's quite a peaceful place. So the Gambian guy that we spoke about the murders to, he reckons is a people from other parts of Africa that's come to Gambia that are causing a lot of problems in Gambia at the moment. But I'm not going to name the other African country because it's just, for me, it's just hearsay. It's not proof. So
At the
it
moment,
would
it's
be
his.
unfair. Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree. I totally understand that.
Hmm.
Pinky, your hand is up. So 6 in the last 2 years that are known.
Well,
We
it's
have,
just under 2 years. It's
yeah,
under about 18 months because you've
right.
just got one about just because it's not only her, there's another English woman there as well. My thing is that I do feel that you've not really heard anything like, I mean, I don't really listen to news as such, but it's not like,
But it's not going to be in the
I've
mainstream over
just
here.
felt that if it was, 6 white English women, I mean, even though they have caught, I must have, the people involved, but, if you go to Gambia and it's like Dion said, it's a very peaceful country. It's also predominantly Muslim. Now, you're not hearing any of the women out there being, taken out like this. So for me, it is specifically that they're targeting people from the diaspora, like either the UK, anyone that's coming outside. It does seem like there is that target. There is also that target on those people that, like John said, they're putting it that it's outside people from outside of Gambia that are coming in. I felt there's a tight community within Gambia, and if you're not a part of that community, you're very much outside of that community. And I also felt that when I was there, my experiences as a woman, I wouldn't go to Gambia as a woman by myself. I'd want to know that I'm going with my partner. If I was going to go out there and live, I wouldn't be a 60-year-old person and looking to go back there as a single woman, being out in a place like Gambia. I'd want to know that I've got my own. And the reason being, because, it's predominantly a Muslim country. They're not. We're going out there with our mindset or how our life is as an independent woman. It ain't happening out there. You can flip about. I see it. I watched. I observed. I was there for how many days? I observed in different things because I need to know everything.
But we grown.
And
If we
for
want to go
me,
somewhere, we can go.
well, I ain't going without a man. That's for sure.
A man, a girlfriend.
Yeah,
That'd be a
yeah.
man.
No, in that respect, yeah, because you don't really know the people, you don't know the culture. You're a female. Mm-mm-mm-mm. They don't like when women are too vocal. We know that. When women are too vocal, and it's not only in Africa, it's also you get that still. And I notice you get it more if you're coming from outside. Even in the Caribbean, you'll get that. you know, because you're getting in ways like you're the female and you're the one.
We hear rumors in the Caribbean of things happening where people go after a period of time, all of a sudden they get attacked.
Well, this is what I'm saying, and this is what I mean. I think for me, I really, unless you've got family, strong connections, that's my only way. That's you know, I think in that way, if you're going as a single person, differently. But if you don't have those things and you're going to build your life there, you definitely need to have your man, or you definitely need to bring a man. And going to Gambia, if you're getting involved with any of them, their man out there, let me tell you, because I don't see no old man out there. When I went out, it's big. Them young man is only ages like what, in their 20s, 30s. Me don't even see no 40s out there. You're lucky. You're lucky because Africa is one of the most what you call it, youngest population of people. I don't know where the old people are. I never see much of them.
What are the specific? Are you talking about Gambia or Africa as a whole?
Africa even as a whole, but even Gambia itself, it's bare man. You're seeing bare man about the place. You hardly.
Are you saying bare young man? Because the young man, the older man, they found something to do. The young man probably got nothing to do. Maybe there's lack of employment and so on and so forth.
Well,
maybe
you know that there's lack of employment. You know that because they're one of the poorest countries.
There you are. So now the Gambia, this is what I was going to say. So there's many websites regarding it. So here's one, it's Go Black to Africa. Yeah. And in the comments, somebody writes, MSA African Roots, having lived in the Gambia, not only this story deeply heartbreaking, but yes, I was married to a Gambian. I never ever felt unsafe walking anywhere in the Gambia, and that was in 2012. She says, but today's different. Be careful. So, what has changed in the Gambia over these years? What something must have there must have been a shift in some way, some way or fashion, way, shape, or form. Spice, your hand is up. Part of the thing.
Yes, they did catch the guy. He was from Sierra Leone. They've also recovered a lot of the stuff that he actually took. But you talking about
He was a thief.
Well, it looks like it because he took a lot of stuff which they've retrieved, and they also got the hammer that killed her.
They found a lot. What, he kept the hammer? What that?
I don't know. I don't know. But you're talking about a shift. I mean, a lot of English people are going out there because it's very easy to go out there and purchase land, build a business and whatnot. So that's where the shift thing comes from. But this whole killing in other islands, remember there was a space in Jamaica where returnees were being murdered. I know someone whose parents were murdered in St. Kitts when they returned. So it's nothing new. It's just we're not made aware of it because it's not in the mainstream. But it happens in all the Caribbean islands as well. People being murdered when they've gone back home. So it's nothing new. I think what's different about this is because it's American and English single females within the last 18 months. That's why there's now a highlight on it.
Well, yeah. Well, it just seemed to be a bit too often. So these things happen, but there's obviously with this situation, or maybe it's the profile of the person that was murdered, but there's obviously something going a bit more to it here. Leisha, your hands up. Part of things.
Yeah, what stands out about this particular subject is that now, number one, there's a huge influx of Black people from the Caribbean, England, and America moving to Africa, and they are creating a lot of channels. There's a lot of people who talk about how life can be wonderful and how fruitful their lives have been and business, etc., has been. And so they've been promoting it a lot online, talking about how well they've done and what they've got and people seeing their lives. So it brings more people to Africa, the African continent. But what stands out about this particular story in particular is, I said particular twice, sorry, what stands out about this story in particular is that it's a number of Black women who have been unalived, and nobody said anything about it. It's almost been really quiet. It's been very, very quiet. So it's not been highlighted in the media like it would do. Nobody's gonna the government haven't gone, what on earth is going on with our women in the Gambia? They're coming over to your country, Gambia, and they're being murdered. What are you doing about this? Nothing's being done. I'm gonna bring up something really quickly before I leave.
Nothing being done by who though?
But by the people. By the people whoever's in Gambia murdering these women, these people murdering these women. So what I'm going to bring up is this: what happened in Gambia. This is an example of what a government would do and what publicity could be like if it had been white women. Now there was 2 white women in America, who are American. They went to the Bahamas on holiday. Okay, they accused the staff, 2 men who were working there, of raping them in Bahamas. They accused them. Now they were on television. They got a lawyer involved. It went viral all on the internet. These women, they were crying. Their man raped me. They raped both of us. They drugged us, etc., etc. They got a lot of press. On top of that, the government got involved as well. So what on earth is happening? Like, they even told everybody, be very careful of going to this Bahamas because there are rapists there. So be on your high alert for it. Yeah. So that is how big this triggered off. Now the story's got a bit more thicker now from what I'm listening about. They're starting to question whether or not these women actually were or were not raped, because their stories didn't add up so much. But comparing it to women who have been unalived in the Gambia, they're Black women. How many was there? I think somebody said 8 of them or something like that.
6.
6 of them. 6 were murdered. Okay. At some point, the British government should have said, what's going on? Why?
Is it all 6 from the UK, or is it 6 from UK and America?
Well, was it in America and US?
America and the UK.
There you are, both.
Why haven't they said anything about these women being murdered? Because, we should feel free to travel when we want to feel free to travel. Generally, people have traveled to Africa on a regular basis. And I mean, we've not really heard much about anybody being murdered like this at this level, and nothing being done about it. So that is why this brings light to the attention as to what is going on.
I think, in part, though, that more is happening now because of the profile of this particular woman. She seems to have done quite a lot. She's been on radio, she's been promoting, she's bought land, she's helped many people go over there. So I think it sent a bit of a shockwave to a lot of people that were trying to connect with the region and so on through her. And of course, it's obvious the conversation is brewing in it, and it's developing. I think it'll probably go a lot further. Dion, part of the thing, your hands up.
Yeah, one thing I did notice when I was in Gambia in December was that there's a lot of poverty. And if she's a person that is empowering a lot of people, to come out of poverty, I do think that can be a problem, because the Gambians that we made friends with out there, they said once they try to make business and make money, the government will come and shut down that business, where they have to run the business from their house. So there was a lot of people that we met out there that had businesses, that had shops and was making a lot of money, but the government will come, get their people and come and shut down that business, so they can no longer be in the shop, take it over, and they now have to run the business from their homes. So I thought, okay, maybe I'm just hearing it, but I heard it from more than one. I heard it from more than one.
But the government shuts it down. Is it because of a failure to pay taxes, or there's not a setup there? Or...
So the feeling that, the understanding that they gave me what should I say, the reasoning they gave me was that they don't want Gambians to be to empower Gambians. Do you understand? They want Gambians to stay poor, so they don't mind us coming in from you know, from other countries to put money in Gambia. Because one thing, when you go into the airport in Gambia, you see them saying buy house, buy land, buy. It's all over the airport. It's all over on all their advertisements. They want you to buy land. They want you to buy houses and stuff. So they don't do it to international people, but I think there's something underlined here. Maybe this woman was empowering too many people, maybe also Gambians, you know, giving them work. Remember, she said there was like how many people on the site at one time. So there's something about the government don't want the Gambian people to be empowered or to have money. They want to keep them poor because it's about power. You know, and a lot of people do not like the government as well. So there is I think there is a bit more deep rooted than what we think. And one other point, Pinky's right, there's a lot of young men in Gambia, a lot. So it's a predominantly Muslim country. There's some Christians, but it's predominantly Muslim. When you go out there, you see bare men. And I was saying, she's right, men under 40. And just because a lot of the older males and females went out, they go out to different countries to source out work. So there's a lot of young males. When we went to their carnival, I was astounded of how many young men were at this carnival. It was just like, wow. Everywhere you go, it's just young men around all the time.
Wow. So as I said, and I did say that, the older people, they found something to do. There's money over there. We can look after our family. In Gambia, it's not working. So obviously they're moving, and the young men are just waiting for that chance to get away.
Because the poverty is crazy. The poverty, I was hit by the poverty big time. But there's a lot of business opportunities in Gambia for people like us.
No, there's not. If the government's coming and shutting you down.
They're not shutting us down. They want business from us, from international people. So they want the Gambians down. They don't want the Gambians to be in benefit and in power. Exactly. But they want us to put money in the country because they're all about money. Do you understand?
Makes no sense. No sense. So
it's deep.
Okay. All right. Thank you for that bit of enlightenment as to perhaps surrounding, situations that can lead to this type of. If you're helping the Gambians, which from what not only you, Dion, but also Pinky, from what and Spice, from what you lot have said to me. When you go to Gambia, you can't but help put your hand in your pocket and give money because the poverty is just like, right, it's just so raw in your face, it's just right there. I mean, Pinky, your hand is up to things, you cry. Lord have mercy.
Yeah, it make you boil water because it made me boil water out my eyes, really.
Right.
The poverty is really, I've never seen poverty. I thought I was living in poverty, but clearly I'm not. I'm living a life of luxury because I saw poverty out there that I've never seen before. And as I said, there's no infrastructure, the roads, but Gambia is a beautiful place. And yes, the people are really beautiful. And like Dion said, I just don't understand why the Gambian person is not being empowered out there. Why are they at the bottom of the pile? It hurt me so bad.
No, but what Dion said hurts more, that the government will shut you down.
Yeah.
Tried to help them.
I refused to give my money to certain places. We went into the deepest part of the market so that we can shop with as many Gambian people as possible, because sometimes your mind sharp that it's not even, some of them are not even selling for them. They're selling for the same bigger man outside. You understand? And I just don't get it. But my thing is, this particular woman that we're talking about, something that was very interesting, and you actually brought it up on that little thing, if you had played that clip, she was talking about land.
Yeah.
She was also, as a lawyer, was wanting to change policy. Understand something? Apparently, you only own the land for a certain amount of time. So hers might have been 15 years, and with the new extension that they were doing, she did want us to start from not the 15 years that she's already had it at, but to start from the new extension where you get it at 50 years. Well, I know in the Caribbean, if we own land, we own it, mate. We ain't got no 50 years or no lease on that, mate. That's ours. That goes from family to family.
Yeah.
You understand? So there's things in Gambia that for me personally don't meet above board. So you have to be very careful if you're buying land. Yeah. And you have to know that that's going through their whatever there, because there's a lot of backhanded and there's a lot of corruption in Gambia. There's a hell of a lot going on. You can see it. I can see it. I can smell it.
It's you know, and that's
so
the
as
thing.
much as they say
He had
that
found
it's
out a lot
peaceful,
more.
as you stand out, as you look, I don't know what it is to go to Ghana. I don't know what it is to go to, well, funny enough, when I was in Gambia, I met a lovely lady who went to South Africa, and she was like, me and her spoke, and she said, trust me. She said,
but from what you're saying, there could it be?
She said to me, she would definitely be going. She's headed to South Africa. That was this, and she was a Jamaican, and this is what me and her discussed.
But could it have been a setup?
I do believe that there's something fishy going on. I do believe that we're being targeted. I felt that.
Yeah,
Look,
you get out there.
I felt that as a female woman. We were out there with us as females. If you even make sharp and make a wrong move and make eye contact, that's it. You got it. They're on you. They're on you. The man them on you.
Lord of mercy.
You can't look. Listen. The man them. Oh, stop it. You need a man. If we wasn't in a group,
why not pick a man from the pot that's there?
No,
I mean, they're all young, vibrant.
No, sir, because me don't know about him, how much wife him have. Some of them want them to do what them want to do.
That's right. Now, here's the natural. She's saying they could have set up
when
that
I'm living
man.
there, you know, because like their ways and my ways is different. So their spirit and my spirit is different. So my ancestors is there too. So when they're playing that, they're doing their voodoo, you know, and throwing things in front of my doors and all these, because this is all the things you're going to put up with when you go out there to live. Understand that there's a culture that you don't understand.
Right. So really, you want to integrate yourself, is what you're saying. Yes,
you would have to.
But I would argue that the woman had done that. She'd been there. If I pulled up this video from 2020, that's 4 years. So she'd put years into Africa. Now, we spoke about potentially it could have been a setup. And so the naturals are saying in the chat there, they could have set up the situation. Tico's going to give a bit of a comment here. I know she's going to go into a bit of the African experience. But before we do that, because they found the murderer, but they found everything on him. Let's just have a little listen there to what the police in Gambia are saying about, they're giving an update on this robbery, they're calling it a robbery, armed robbery, and death of a British woman. Let's just hear how they're reporting on this. Let's just have a listen.
Help the police during the course of the investigation. And then the police were able to get admission from the suspect. He confessed of doing the act. And then he led the police to recover the properties that he stole after murdering Madam Chinedu. And then the police definitely went back with him to the crime scene. Chinedu is on a construction at a new site at Madina Alaji. It's a village between Kunkuja Mariama and Mahmuda. That's where she was murdered by the suspect, Augustine Bangura, who is a Sierra Leonean national. During the course of the investigation, the keys of Shakina were recovered from the suspect. He kept them at the residence where he is in Bakote. And then we also recover some of the items that were stolen from the deceased. Then we also recovered the hammer that he used to kill Madam Chinedu. The hammer, the spade, everything is there. Those are the article of evidences that we have in hand. And then this thing take us a little time to be able to arrest the suspect and recover all these items and get confession on him. So far, these are the facts that we have. The suspect is already in hand. He's in our custody. We are preparing the file now because we have almost concluded the investigation, and we are now putting him before court soonest. And thank you very much.
Wow. Well, they found him. Tico, your hand first. They found him. We should be relieved. We should be happy. Tico.
Yeah, listening to, I first of all wanted just to comment on what Miss Leisha said about the government should do something, and about using the American women who claimed who cried rape as an example of government getting involved. The thing is, I don't know that the government can really say anything at this point, because what is being reported is that it was one of her workers who stole money from her, £1,000 and whatever else he stole from her. So people do steal, you know, they steal in England, they steal in South Africa, they steal in Gambia. But what I haven't been to Gambia, I know nothing about it. I now know that it's a Muslim country. I think Pinky mentioned that it was a Muslim country. And having been to Egypt, which is also a Muslim country, women are kept in the house. Women aren't really allowed to go out in Muslim countries. They really just have to stay indoors. And it is young men who are out there, and the young men do see the women from overseas as a meal ticket. In Egypt, there were loads. I mean, a lot of British women were. There's a big community in Luxor in Egypt of British European pink women who had young guys. Women in their 60s will have a 20-year-old, 25-year-old married. They'll be married. They'll marry them. They'll marry them the Muslim way in Egypt. They won't go to England with them. So the woman has to always go back to England to bring more money, I suppose, and come back. And her husband is there at home to pleasure her and do whatever while she's there. But she can't stay permanently. She has to always go back. So, and they don't really value women's lives that much. So I'm not surprised that they could have, you know, killed her for £1,000. That wouldn't surprise me. But I also wouldn't be surprised if the government is involved, not the government, sorry, if other people are involved, a bigger group is involved, and actually she was doing too much, our Shakina. Maybe she just really was, you know, too much of a threat to men in the country.
You just hit a big one there. The men run things. This could be their mindset. Here comes a woman running things, and the man them said, "Nah, sir, not go so." And it's just too sad. It's just too sad. It really, that mindset's so foolish. But as we're watching this police update here, and for the viewers, you can see, but for those on the radio, you know, the police have given their press conference and they've literally shown the murder weapon. I don't believe that's a murder weapon. I can't see any blood splatter. But then again, I don't know how the crime was here. But what I'm seeing here in this police update is that they are holding the alleged weapon that killed her. The man had no gloves, funny man. He don't have no gloves, funny man. He's holding it. Like, hang on a minute. And they passed him it. I'm sure they passed him the hammer. So that's more pink. That's not how you handle evidence. You don't handle evidence like that. What kind of foolishness is that? Just seeing that alone makes me think, hang on. And then I asked the question, because I've seen in the chat some of you have been talking, saying that the video conference about the perpetrator is weird. that right there, what I'm seeing here, is all together with. You can't just somebody just kill a man or a woman with this hammer. You don't just go and pick up the hammer. Here it is. Who does that? I mean, come on. I mean, hold on a Spice. I see your hand up. Come in, talk the things. Am I mad?
Yeah,
What am I seeing? What
when I saw that video and he took out the hammer, and I thought, well, where's the forensic bag? Where's the gloves? Then he shows the spade and he's holding a spade. I'm like, well, why would you put your handprints all over it? And who else's handprints are all over it?
Right.
It just
But
did
they
not
passed
seem
him it.
right. It seemed like it was some sort of something staged to appease whoever. It just didn't seem right to me. It didn't sit well at all.
No, that's what I'm saying. I saw. I just can't believe it. Look, whoa.
But they fingerprint you at the airport, though. They fingerprint you at the airport. Do you know what I mean? But
but look at this. The hammer in this little clip here. Look, somebody is picking it up and is going to pass it to the person that's speaking. There we go. Look, the two man bend. Look, the man bend down. He picked it up, passed it to the man. He passed it to him. Who does that? Right? Look. Oh, it's not that one. There it is. Now he's grabbed it. Look. He just grabbed the thing like he's in the shop shopping.
Joking.
I mean, come on. And he's holding it up like, oh, here it is, it's this. I mean, and the camera's zooming in close.
No blood stains. Where's the blood stains? If he blooded her with a hammer, where's the blood stains?
That's what I'm saying.
And to me, it's insensitive to do that because, you know, people, this will be worldwide. The family
and it's a brand new hammer. But it looks like a brand new hammer.
Yeah. That's why, exactly. Nah. The man that feels like them are taught idiot. Look,
who handles evidence like that? You need gloves on for evidence like that.
But in a press conference, you wouldn't bring that to bear, would you? You wouldn't.
That is wood. That is wood. That would have had blood stains on it.
And then he takes that. Then he takes the spade.
Yeah,
he gets the spade. Look, he's got the spade.
Nah, Dread. I don't know. Maybe I'm an idiot. I don't know. But that looks a bit.
That's suspect.
You know, it don't look right. Them look at this moment to me. Them look too happy around that camera. The poor woman's dead. At least give her the dignity of. If you're coming up with a story, say it properly. I mean, come on. That's just annoying. That's just like, come on. Teresa, your hands up. Part of the thing. That's just like, come on. Who does? You look like an idiot now. Really, they look stupid. They do. You can't do that. You can't do that. I mean, and they found him so quick. Now you're doubly suspect. Like, and he led them to the weapons, and he led them to the things that were stolen. Tim J, go on, talk to things.
Yeah, as I think somebody's already said it. I think it's more to do with the land, the fact that she was doing quite a bit. I've heard that in other countries now, you just can't go there and buy land. You have to buy land with somebody that is from the place.
The resident,
because what they're trying to do now is put restrictions on how easy it is. And I'd actually, to be fair, I understand that. You know, I understand the need to sort of like protect, make sure that the people who are from there have the ability to buy. So I do understand that. I can do see with that. Obviously, this murder for me has different connotations. It has a lot more to do with I mean, I don't want to say too much in terms of that because I do know a bit more, but I do think we need to be careful about purchasing overseas, which is a shame because you can buy in France, you can buy in Italy, you see people advertising, come buy here, come buy there. Other countries are doing it. Other countries, Spain, you see people taking, exactly, buy somewhere, place in the sun. You see people doing things, advertising, better lives in other places. So and exactly, I've seen them do Gambia as well. And that's another reason why that press conference was done in the way that it was done. It's still a tourist destination. So they're still trying to appease the people that are coming there on holiday, because those are the people that they want. They don't want people to come and buy. They want people on holiday, or they want investors to purchase, but not to stay, not to run, not to dominate. They've already got other communities doing that. I should say no.
Yeah, this little I don't know, this farce. That's that conference, that update is a farce. Really, it looked foolish. I'm upset by it. I'm not appeased. I mean, when you lot came from Gambia and you was telling me, first thing I'm thinking, wow, if I went to, I wanted to go. I don't want to go now, but I wanted to go. And you're thinking, how can you help? So this woman obviously was trying to help, and basically they shut her down in the worst possible way.
Because the other side of that, Joseph, is when the country is shutting down opportunities for people that live there, when the people that live there see outsiders coming and developing and building, they then have an uprising. They then say, we're not having that. You can't come from south and come and build in my land, and I can't even walk across here.
Well, yeah, well, I mean, even in this country, by the way, it has happened. I mean, look how they've come and they've bought up the property across London and whatnot. House prices are through the roof. You there born and bred in London, you can't afford house. Yet you see all these people, they all come from abroad and they're buying up the land, the property, and all the rest of it. But we got the system here. You don't go and kill the people for it, do you? We complain, right? And so on and so forth. Lobby the government, express our views. But you know, so this man, it's just very, very sad. Because if you had thoughts of going to Gambia, I wouldn't necessarily say dash away the thoughts, because obviously these things can happen anyway. But you know, how, if you want to go and set up in another country, how you plan. Me personally, I mean, I wouldn't go, for example, who would travel to Ukraine right now? You wouldn't.
No, but I think it's
There's a war. Who would go to
Israel?
Israel right now? You wouldn't. There's a war. Who would go to, you know what I mean? You're not going to go to places where there's disruption, high level disruption.
But it's most of our dreams to buy somewhere like in Africa or in the Caribbean. It's most of our dreams to do that. And it is for one of a better life, a better experience, and wanting to contribute and to be in a situation where we can actually be part of making an infrastructure, of creating to an infrastructure. But these things it does make you look like, how are you going to do it? And even when you do buy with somebody that is from the country, you still don't know if you're being fleeced. You still don't know if you're being set up for another day. It's so I don't even know. It's so sad as well, because she did nothing but try to uplift the community. That's all she was about. I'm not saying she wasn't a good businesswoman. She was, because she saw an opportunity and she took it. She took it, but she also made sure she gave.
Yeah, and it's sad that might have been. We're not saying it was. We don't know, but that might have been a trigger for why they've shut her down. If, as Dion was bringing out the point, that when people go out there, set up businesses that actually are helping the people, them over there, the government literally will come in and close the doors of your business. Makes no sense.
If they're Gambian people.
Yeah. Say that again. If they're Gambian people.
If they're Gambian people that's making a business and their business is a success and they're successful, they will close down that business.
Right.
There's more than one Gambian. There's more than one Gambian that's told me that. I've actually met Gambians that it's happened to.
But if it's an
outsider, they don't touch the outsiders. Obviously now they are. This woman sounds to me that she was doing a lot for the Gambians, and a lot. She was maybe powerful. She was on YouTube doing all of that, and maybe people didn't like it. That's the
By,
feeling I'm getting from this story.
Yeah,
by the
and
way,
that's why there was an uprising from the people.
the, let me just come back to you on that, TMJ. Let me just point this
I'm gonna
out.
mute off because I'm making popcorn. Sorry.
Okay.
Luca, can you do that? Can you mute me, please?
Okay. So in just to be given even keel on this, by the way, because we have our African correspondent in the building today, namely Tico, who says that in Africa, the handling of evidence is like, correct me if I'm wrong, Tico, right? They do it like that. They manhandle evidence with no gloves and so on and so forth.
Well, when we had a burglary, the police came. They did fingerprint the only windows, and they said this, but only the windows, and maybe a cupboard with a smooth surface. They wouldn't fingerprint the windows. I mean, the actual bars of the windows or the wooden bits, where I thought the fingerprints would be, where you could see that the burglars had actually touched and to get out, because they said that they can't get prints from that. But other evidence that was found, like a gun and a phone, they just handle that when they actually found the evidence in the burglars' house. They just took that just normally and just handled it. There was no plastic bag. I didn't even think to ask about a plastic bag or gloves. I just saw them pass the gun around and a phone around, as if.
So that just gives a little bit of balance. So the way they're handling this, it still looks like a farce to me, but it's nice to have that little background. It sort of, gives a little bit more perhaps understanding. But this media is obviously it's going to cost them a minute. Fewer people are going to travel to the Gambia. Alicia, your hands up. Part of things.
I was going to say Gambia is a third world country, so I'm not going to have technology and the facilities to be able to do what we do in the Western world. Yeah.
True that.
And
So are you saying that common sense does not prevail in third world countries?
No, but it may not be common. It just may not be, common sense isn't always common. It just isn't. The way how they do things there probably works for them. And they probably don't have, like I said, what they're going to do, the evidence is there. They probably speak to a lot of people and hearsay and talk and what have you. And that's how they do their investigation. Very different to probably how we do it here. So, I mean, I don't think it's right that the way they picked up the mallet and just showed it, what have you. But we've got to remember that it's a different world there. It's a different world, the way they've been taught. That's unfortunately.
Yeah, and it is what it is. But so now, so buying property in another land, in another country, is always going to be risky, however you look at it, however you slice and dice it. I guess it's more of a shame for us, really, because here's someone that's I think she was from the UK, has traveled across to Gambia, has built a pathway for people to return to Africa if they so choose. So she was a phenomenal information resource, someone you can go to, you can ask questions, she'll help you, right? She'll guide you through the process. She had legal understanding, expertise. Of course, you need that when you're getting involved with property and so on. And wow, she's just literally been taken out. That's going to set back any movement towards traveling to Africa. And that's going to just be a humongous setback, period. And I think part of all of this outpouring that she's receiving is because people sense the loss that has occurred with her being taken away in the way that in the way that it's happened. Pinky, your hand is up, Plotting.
Yeah, which is probably her family and the little Caribbean community that is there, that is out there, and that. But I just feel that for me, it's just too suspicious, really, and I just feel that somehow, women just need to be a bit more cautious, particularly those that get to 60 and think, well, time to go off and You've got to be a bit more cautious about what you're doing, and because people just see you as someone that is vulnerable.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And also coming from, it's 95%. 95%,
Yeah.
Muslim.
It's a Muslim country, period.
Yeah.
So,
So you've
be
got
aware
to-
of the Muslim
yeah,
culture.
so you've got to right. So, you can't live. I don't think, as a woman, a black woman, I don't think you can live there like, like how we would be living with our clothing. You got make sure you've got your arms covered and all of that.
Mm. And that's right. The way you dress.
And wear the long dresses and everything else. Yeah.
You can't just dress
And
anywho.
sometimes you might have to cover your head too.
Sometimes you might have to, depend on where you go. I mean, Lisha, part of the things.
Can I just, there's a difference between culture and religion. So we can't get them too mixed up, And we've just had a member who's just come up from Dubai, and that's a mostly Muslim country, but very safe out there. Very safe out there.
No, Dubai, Qatar, them areas there, it's safe until you get thrown in prison.
Well, it's a Muslim country, so that's what I'm trying to say. There's a difference between culture and religion, right? So another thing is that people will always travel. There's going to be murders all over. Like in the UK right now, somebody unfortunately is being unalived. Yeah, multiple times in America, multiple times all over the world. It's just that it's the way how this has been played that's more of a shock to a lot of us. It shouldn't stop people from traveling. It shouldn't stop people from realizing their dreams. No, it shouldn't. It should.
I agree with you. It shouldn't, but it certainly will cause questions.
Because you see, we look at Africa and we think it's that small. It's huge. Like Gambia is not that small. It's huge. These are huge countries. Huge.
However big it is, wherever you go, you're going to want to be around people.
But yeah, you are. But the thing is that there's dangers everywhere. And if we decided we're not going to go, oh my God, I'm not going to go to West London or East London or Birmingham because it's really dangerous out there, we'd never go anywhere. We wouldn't realize life. We won't actually experience anything with our lives. So don't be put off. I think people should not be put off by considering, if they feel they want to consider, but just do their research. You're going to go somewhere, you should do your research. Go to a hotel, stay in a hotel, go there on a regular basis, build up a community of people that you know before you decide that you're going to stay in that particular area and locality. Understand the culture.
No, you're bang on point. And by the way, property prices out there, you can get a decent 2 to 3 bed property. I think we had a look for 30, 40,000. The cost of living out there, very, very cheap, very affordable. It's, this guy here, he's got the podcast, Go Black to Africa. And just by reading the comments here, I mean, you can see women who say they don't need a man mean they don't need any type of man wreaking havoc on their lives. However, there's room for a decent, kind, productive man. That makes sense. I mean, so he was bringing out various points. Here, go back. You did it again. The content and messages was on point. You gave the audience travel nuggets. Everything you said was priceless because I've never seen this information in any travel brochures. And some YouTubers don't tell the whole story. So, Lisha, you're right. Obviously, if going back was your plan, by all means, don't give up hope. Do you know what I mean? There's still room. But of course, however we look at it, this one was obviously loved. And we're just feeling the ripples of that, in that she did good work. And you can't take people out like that. And I think maybe what comes from this is that more will be put in place to prevent such things happening again. Tico, your hands up, talk things.
I was just going to actually make a comment about what women have to wear in Muslim countries. I know that somebody said it's not Muslim. Being Muslim is not the issue. I've only actually ever been to Egypt, and what I've read about other Muslim countries and how I've seen women are viewed differently by Muslim men. And Egypt, and I think, you know, if it's predominantly Muslim, the country's predominantly Muslim, then that's how they'll rule the country. Saudi Arabia may be totally free of crime for a lot of women, but for women of color from South Africa, I've heard of 2 incidents where they've been beheaded. Nannies have been beheaded because one story was a young girl, 16 years old, was looking after this baby, a 2-year-old baby, and I think the baby fell down the stairs or something, and she lost her head. She lost her life for it. And there was another incident where a woman's hand was chopped off, maybe she had stolen. But I don't think it's fair to say that Saudi Arabia or Dubai, that's where, if Dubai is in Saudi Arabia, I don't think it's fair to say that it's free of crime for women. So just because it's culturally or religiously okay to chop a woman's head off doesn't make it right.
No,
don't make them any more civilized, neither.
Yeah, you talk about them areas there. Did you say Saudi Arabia? Wasn't that where they killed the journalist? The journalist, you know, walks into the embassy and they kill him dead. You know, in them parts of the world, everything's good while it's good. But if it turns, it's just not going to be in your favor. You know, and of course, English is not the first. You know, you're in a whole new. It's a whole new field out there when you're dealing with them kind of situations. Leisha, part of the thing.
I think they just do punishment differently, corporal punishment differently. And the thing is that, you know, there's always going to be crime wherever you go. There's a lot of places where they hide it, and the way how they treat, how they punish crime. You know, we here in the UK, we're used to a particular way of dealing with crime. And like we saw in Gambia, they deal with it in a particular way. It seemed quite juvenile. Yeah, very shoddy the way how they dealt with it. But hey, that's how they deal with it, unfortunately.
It's shoddy here too, by the way.
Yeah, it is shoddy.
It bloody well is. Over here, it is shoddy the way they deal with crime here. It's just that if you're not involved in it, you just don't get to see it. When you get to see it, you're like, no way. You know, it changes your perspective. Like you're saying, there's crime everywhere. If you can go online, most of us choose not to, and you can find what the crime statistics are in your local area. It's not good. It's not good at all. But we just don't look. You know what I mean? We're not paying attention to that because obviously, who wants to walk around with that mindset? We all walk around with a positive mindset. It's just extremely sad when you hear of something such as this, where, you know, this woman, somebody that was doing good, she had a good work. You know what I mean? She had a good work, and them just come in and just, I can't even say the word hard. They just check her out like in them ways there. It's just it's sad. It's very sad. It's upsetting. It's like you know, and the man that they got, are they gonna beat him? What are they gonna do to him? In this country, he gets put in prison and they're quite comfortable. In that country, is their prison system somewhat different? What happens? Pinky, talk things. Oh, you need to unmute yourself. I saw your hand go up. You know, it's you got 30 seconds, Pinky, if you're gonna talk.
No, I was just gonna say, like, you know, like we say, there's crime everywhere, but it is according to punishment. And you know, whether you know, places like Dubai, like Nico said, you know, they take off your hands, they take off your neck,
and there's no, and robberies are down.
Yeah, right. So yeah, so you know, in places like Gambia, you know, their law is English law, so they still
they're
have
Muslim country of English law.
Actually, yeah, the law is it's the English structure still remains there. Yeah.
No way. Okay, just pause for a minute. By the way, if you're listening on radio to the show, champsandgiggles.co.uk is the website. Please pay a visit. We're here every week discussing things, history, news, views, and reviews from a Black perspective. We're going to love you and leave you. Next week, we'll be talking to things in the same way. See you soon. However,